Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. We are talking finances today, right? I don't normally talk about money stuff, but I said to you that I would share how much I spend in Thailand when traveling for 1 month around the country. I know it is a very niche topic, but I'm hoping it will be really useful if you're traveling to Thailand itself or if you're traveling somewhere else, because I didn't actually do this when I went solo traveling around Australia, whereas for this trip I did kind of set a rough budget. I wasn't going to be too strict with it, but I did have a figure in mind and I was just paying a bit more attention to what I was spending, and I actually created a full spreadsheet, right, with all of my spending on it. So that is what we're talking about today. Everything is very bright and colourful and I love it that way. The final thing I'll say is that yes, things were very cheap in Thailand, and I'm in a very privileged position to say that because I'm travelling from the UK to Thailand, and obviously you can get a lot for your money in Thailand just because of the way currencies work. But firstly, let's talk pre-departure. So what did I spend before Matthew and I left to go to Thailand? So the first big thing was obviously return flights, and this cost me £619.41. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was not gonna be as expensive. However, that was definitely not the case. As you'll see in the budget breakdown, that cost was like the single largest cost. I booked it through lastminute.com, and the journey from the UK to Thailand was with Thai Airways, and then on the way back we flew with Scoot Airlines. I did pay a bit more to get direct flights because I just thought that would be easier, and long haul flights are always going to be quite expensive. But like tips when booking actual flights, the first thing I'd say is book as early as possible. When I'm looking for flights, I always use Skyscanner, and you should always look on a private browser because I don't really know what that does, but apparently it doesn't like store your data, so it doesn't kind of recognize that you're looking for flights to a certain country, and it won't suddenly put the price up, and then you'll be taken to like external websites. Hence I ended up on lastminute.com. This took ages, I'm not gonna lie, because there are so many websites you can look at and there are so many extras you can add. However, I don't usually add any like extra add-ons when they have like different flex options, and you can add like this premium insurance package. I generally just go for the basic one because I buy my own travel insurance separately, but I do obviously have to pay for checked luggage because the price that you see on Skyscanner, that's like your base price. It will just keep going up as you have to add on extra things. Like sometimes you'll have to choose seats or pay for meals, and if you want to like really reduce your costs, you can like avoid taking checked luggage, so you could fit all of your stuff or try and fit all of your stuff, and this is a goal of mine, into like hand luggage only. And the final thing I will emphasize about flights and booking flights is please book your meals as early as possible, especially if you have dietary requirements, because on my way out there and on the way back there were a few issues with like me booking vegan meals. And so yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is just book them early, tell the airline, and just try and find out as much information as possible about the food on the flight so you can like prepare as best as you can. The second pre-departure cost then was my travel insurance, and this cost me £193.69. Please take out travel insurance. Do not leave your house without it. I booked mine through World Nomads. It is a really good website. I think they're so useful. I've had a really good experience with them. They cover lots of different activities, including scuba diving. You just have to check the depth limits on it, especially if you're like an advanced diver and stuff. And you can add like high value items if you're taking like a camera with you or like a computer or something. The two other things I paid for, but this will go into the next section of the video where I give you guys my budget breakdown. I paid for our quarantine hotel because we were on the test and go scheme, and that included like our airport transfers when we arrived, our PCR tests, and like 3 meals sort of thing. But I paid for that in advance because I had to book it in advance. And then I also paid for our overnight sleeper train because those tickets sell out really quickly actually. The next section then is my cost breakdown, and I'm going to show you guys my beautiful looking pie chart. Right, I haven't made a pie chart in quite a long time, but I had a great time making this. Just look how beautiful that pie chart is. So as you can very clearly see, the biggest single cost was the return flight, like our international flights. That was 35% of our total spending. The second biggest cost on this pie chart, as you can see, is 18%. That was domestic transport, so all of our transport within Thailand itself. I'm not going to give you every single price, but I will say that with the overnight sleeper train, my ticket cost me £35. So that was to get from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. I booked it using the website One2Go, and I used that website as well to book some other transport options within the country. But with the sleeper train, I was very tempted to book us into first class because it wasn't that much more expensive. However, those tickets sell out so quickly. This was like 4 days before we left. I looked on the website and all of the tickets had sold out for first class. So we obviously just booked into second class, which was perfectly fine. I will leave that video down below if you're interested in seeing what it looks like to go on a sleeper train. We did 2 internal flights and I booked those both with Air Asia. When booking taxis, we used an app called Grab because you will always pay a set price and the driver won't like change his mind when you finish the journey. So that was really useful, A, and B, we could pay using cards. But I would say in Chiang Mai, if you're in Chiang Mai, use Bolt, which is kind of like an alternative app. You do pay by cash, but you will also pay a set price and it's just cheaper. They're not available across all of Thailand, but in the busier cities, you'll always find Grab. Bolt we only found in Chiang Mai actually. Domestic transport also included like ferries, airport transfers and stuff, and a lot of those we actually booked through our accommodation and stuff, and we did just pay by cash. So you can use the website One2Go as I said, but you will have additional like booking costs through the website, so you can often get it cheaper if you pay by cash and you ask your accommodation. 11% then next, that was my travel insurance. And then the next is tours/activities, so everything we kind of did there. The first like dedicated thing we did was in Chiang Mai. We did our cooking class. That was like £18. It was so fun. I highly recommend it. It was with Smile Organic Farm cooking school or something. We did the half-day one, but you cooked so much food. And then after that we did our Elephant Land tour, so the company was Elephant Land. We did the 2-day one, which was so amazing. I cannot recommend this enough as well, and this cost us just over £100 each, which was so worth it. You did so much over those 2 days. If you are looking for an elephant sanctuary, I did all of my research before. It was very ethical. I was very happy with what we did. We spent so much time with the elephants. What else fell into this category, huh? Yeah, temple entrance, bicycle hire, scooter lesson, hiring scooters, me trying Muay Thai. The next is accommodation. So this was, wait, why are tours and activities out of, what is going on here? I'm just realizing now that these are not actually in order. We're going to accommodation next. 13% of my total spending. We didn't really pay any more than £11–12 per night wherever we went. We didn't go to the very touristy places like Phuket, for example, or Koh Phi Phi. I booked most of it through booking.com. I also used like Hostel World as well, and like you don't have to book that far in advance as well, but like our best accommodation deal was like the hotel in Ao Nang for literally £7–8 per night. A hotel which was so incredible. It had 2 gyms, a huge pool, the rooms were amazing, for £7/8. Like that was honestly crazy and we loved that. But yeah, generally accommodation is very inexpensive and you can just like walk into hostels and see if they have availability and pay there and then. You will still get very good deals on the day. And with Matthew coming with me, like originally I was planning this as a solo trip for Holy Go Solo, as you guys know, but Matthew ended up coming with me and this actually reduced my accommodation costs, I think, and with the transport as well, because we could say book a twin room and then just split the cost, and that was often cheaper than paying for like 2 separate bunks in like a dorm room. The next is 11% for food. The food again is very, very cheap. My cheapest meal I think was in Chiang Mai, the night market. I got like a meal for 15 baht or something crazy. And then my most expensive meal was at the end of our trip in Bangkok when I went to this vegan place. It was quite expensive, not like in the grand scheme of things, but for Thailand it was quite expensive, but you know, I got like this sushi bowl for like £6 something. The 3 final slices of my pie chart, 1% each roughly for souvenirs, and this was just like mostly presents for everyone at home. I did buy myself elephant trousers, but other than that I didn't really buy too much. And then 1% on SIM cards. I believe there are 3 main SIM card providers in Thailand. One is TrueMove, one is AIS, and I can't remember the other one. I'll put it on the screen. But we got ours with TrueMove because apparently they are the best value and you get really good coverage. You also get 5G, and we paid £15 for our 1-month package. We didn't have to top up or anything. We did run out of calls within the country at the end, but we didn't need to buy any extra, and it gave you lots of data, all of this other stuff, but it was £15. And we got that at the airport in Bangkok, so BKK, as soon as we arrived. The final section is other, miscellaneous, anything that doesn't fit in the other categories. This included me buying wipes apparently from 7-Eleven. As you can see, I wrote down everything I spent. Washing and drying. We actually got washing and drying, like laundry service on Koh Lanta. It was a bit more than we'd pay to do it ourselves, but we were ill on Koh Lanta, and to have laundry service done was honestly like a dream. Toilet costs, like 3 baht in service stations, quite rogue, but we sometimes had to pay to use toilets. Entrance at Koh Tao Pier, that was kind of a random one. Diving, medical check, that was how much? £9.64. So that was my full budget breakdown. As you can see, international flights were like clearly the most expensive. I hope you guys like the pie chart. You know, but anyway, the next section, the total cost, the big juicy question, as I said, that we've all been waiting to hear the answer to. So my grand total, are you ready to hear the grand total? I spent £1,709.16 in Thailand for 1 month. Going into the trip, I was aiming to spend no more than £2,000, and I undercut that by £300. And then using that figure, I removed the international flights and my travel insurance because I wanted to work out my average spend per day, and that works out to be £29.87, which is like exactly what I'd planned to spend before we left. I was aiming to spend about £30 per day on average. And this website that I found, it's like a blog post, it says that a small backpacker budget is like $20 to $40, so US dollars per day. A mid-range traveler budget is $50 to $100 US dollars per day, and then a large luxury budget is $200 to $400 US dollars per day. So we fell in the small backpacker budget. As I said before, I do think that having Matthew there helped because we could split our costs. And in terms of Matthew's spending, I actually did a spreadsheet for Matthew as well. His average spend per day was just over £30, so just a bit more than mine. And the reason for that, I think, is because he spent a bit more on alcohol. Like, Matthew doesn't drink a lot and he hardly drank at all, but he did drink like a few beers here and there, and obviously alcohol does put your price up a bit. And I think his meals generally cost a bit more than mine, just because like in restaurants, say if I'd get like a veggie pasta thing and then he'd get, I don't know, something with like meats and everything, it would cost more for him. But our spending was very, very similar overall. The final thing I will say here, and I have been very open and transparent about this in my videos, in the vlogs, I was gifted 2 experiences, we could say. So Matthew and I were gifted our stays at Byeeeee, and then we were also invited to dive with La Bombona Diving on Koh Tao. But before I left, I was not planning this. All of this stuff was arranged in Thailand itself. Like, before I left, I was not planning to get anything gifted, so I was very grateful to be able to do that. But obviously, in me creating content and stuff for you guys, I hope that those recommendations are useful. There are discount codes that you guys can use down below for like the Byeeees across all of Asia if you book through their website, and LBD. But had I paid for that stuff myself, I would have expected my grand total to have increased to about £2,000 or just over that. That was like my budget anyway. So cards and cash next. As I said, you will be spending cash mostly in Thailand, which is kind of strange because in the UK I don't use cash at all. So it did take a bit of time getting used to it, and I was like, you know, fumbling with my money a lot of the time, and I was really worried about losing the cash, like the coins and the notes. But before Matthew and I left, we did exchange some money. I don't know the company off by heart, but I can leave a link to it down below or put it on the screen. It was really good because you can just like order it online and then go and pick it up from one of their like stores. We basically exchanged 8,500 Thai baht, which gave us roughly £200 at the time. And then we did have to withdraw a bit extra, and I think we did this in our 3rd week in Thailand on Koh Lanta. We withdrew 7,500 Thai baht between us, and that gave us roughly £170. And then we didn't have to take out any more cash. But in terms of using cards, because you will be able to use cards sometimes. For example, in Bangkok, in Siam, when we were going to the shopping malls, you can sometimes use cards. Some accommodations will accept cards as well, like Ao Nang, the hotel, the Antonia Pushtel in Chiang Mai. But just expect to be paying for a lot of things in cash is what I'm saying. And in terms of the cards I recommend you use or you look into when like traveling in general, this account is one I had set up before I left for Thailand. I actually didn't realize it was so good for traveling. Matthew set one up like a week before we left and he used this card as well, but it's basically a Starling account and therefore I have a Starling card. The reason why it's so good for traveling is because first of all, there will be no extra fee when you pay for things by card in the country itself. So no extra fee for international payments. And secondly, when you do cash withdrawals from an ATM, there will only be the ATM fee. There is always going to be an ATM fee regardless of the card you use. But with a Starling card, you won't pay any additional fees on top of that. And you can also look into Monzo accounts. I also have a Monzo account and that was my backup card because I think it's good to have at least 1 or 2 backups. Monzo also won't charge you for any card payments, international card payments, but they do just have a limit on the amount of cash you can withdraw without an additional fee. 2 other card recommendations are a Curve card, which I've used. I used it in Australia, and then a Revolut. I haven't used Revolut, but I've heard it's quite good. They all just offer different things and they have different benefits, and it depends if you want to use the account for like just traveling or for other things. The final section in this video, as I said, we're going to talk about tips on reducing your costs. Now I have mentioned most of these throughout the video, but I'm just going to list them all at the end so they're all in one place. As I said before, book your flights as early as possible, and that goes with both international flights and domestic or internal flights, because our first internal flight from Chiang Mai down to Krabi, that was really quite expensive because we booked it like a couple of days before, and so the prices do go up. And with internal flights, yes, they are often the fastest way to get from A to B, but just look into all of your different transport options. Like, can you get a train instead, like an overnight train, or can you get like a bus or a ferry? Yes, as I said, it might take longer, but it might cost less. And related to that, when you're booking internal transport, ask your accommodation because they can help you, and they can also help you book it a lot of the time. I've mentioned this, but use Grab and use Bolt just because you won't be haggling with the driver, like you'll pay a set fee. The next one is to use influencer discount codes. Influencer discount codes. Like, yes, I'm sitting here as a content creator, but honestly, if there is a discount code you can use, definitely use it because it will save you money. And as I said, my Thailand discount codes will be linked down below. The next one is to do with alcohol. As I said, alcohol will increase your spending. I don't drink, it's a personal choice. If you do want to drink, that's fine, but like if you want to reduce your spending, just be cautious of how much you're drinking and how much money you're spending on drink, I suppose. Regarding foods, you will get your cheapest meals probably on the markets, and if you pay for Western food, it will cost more than say like traditional Thai food. TrueMove I think is the best value SIM card. AIS is definitely more expensive. I don't know if it's any better. So that is basically everything for this video. I really hope it was informative. The most important takeaway I hope from this video is that, as I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money when you're traveling, and you don't have to be super strict with it. Like, obviously it depends on you. I was just like making notes of how much I was spending, but I didn't want it to like hinder my travel adventures, and I just wanted to have fun, really, and I had the best time. My camera literally just died right as I was finishing this video. But anyway, I was saying, if you are going for 1 month in Thailand, think about spending around about £2,000 if you want to stick to like a backpacker budget. If you want to treat yourself and spend more, please do go for it. I really want to go back to Thailand because there are so many places I didn't end up visiting, and of course the next travel adventure is on the cards. I will keep you guys updated. But as I said at the start, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, comment down below, subscribe if you are new, and hit the bell so you know when I upload. And yeah, as always, I'll speak to you very soon in another video. Bye! Do I need a necklace or something? Because as I said, it literally, oh my god, my phone. I'm not an economist. Economist? Economics? What am I talking about? So I booked an outwards journey and an inbound journey, is that right? If you can take just hand luggage, like, you are living the best travel life. So yeah, I just need to like get rid of my 70-litre rucksack really when I'm traveling. I think it's 1, 2, go. That makes sense to me, like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, go. So Alexa. She hasn't connected to the internet since I've been home, so to be honest with you, I give up with this thing. Oh, she's so annoying. Shut up! Thank you.